Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Lisa Amerine, and I am the owner of Pure Homeopathy, a clinic that I started in Lafayette, Colorado in 2004. Today, I thought it would be really fun for Dr. Knapp and I to share some fun facts about ourselves for you to get to learn about us a little bit more. So I'm actually going to start with Dr. Knapp, who's a great naturopathic doctor, brilliant homeopath practicing in my office. And Dr. Knapp, I want to hear how you came to homeopathy. Tell me your story.
Well, I was on my way to go to osteopathic medical school. And so I was going to be a DO. And as I started down that path, I was realizing more and more that what I was going to be learning was not going to be congruent with the things that I wanted to do to actually help patients regain wellness. And along that kind of journey there, finding naturopathic medicine, I stumbled onto homeopathy. And so like I do with most things, I found the largest book that I could on the subject, and I was just really taken with the elegance of how it can simply help people in a really profound way. And then when I got to naturopathic school, I saw really quickly a few of my loved ones get really dramatic benefit from pain, injuries, and hormonal disruptions and things like that, that they got really well really fast. And I was hooked after that. I knew that this had to be a cornerstone of my naturopathic practice.
That's cool. That's cool. I
Yeah.
love that. So you didn't know about homeopathy until you came to naturopathic school.
Yeah, exactly. And it just really resonated. It seemed like such a beautiful way to incorporate naturopathic medicine. And so I really devoted a lot of time in school and afterward in developing this expertise.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love it. I love it.
And your story with coming to homeopathy, share that with us.
Mine's a little different because I grew up with homeopathy. So when I was little, my mom she's a nurse, and at the time she was an OBGYN nurse. And so I was 5. And to that point, I mean, we were conventionally raised. Everything was done conventionally, like many of us. And my mom was an OBGYN nurse. And at her clinic, there was a woman who was there with a urinary tract infection who my mom had looked at the urine and is the one who said, you have a urinary tract infection, you need to be on these antibiotics. And the woman said, well, I want to do something a little different. And so I'm going to try this homeopathy and I'll come back tomorrow and we can check again. And if my UTI is not better, then I'll take the antibiotics. And my mom was horrified because it's actually not advised to not treat a urinary tract infection when someone is pregnant, which I would agree with to this day. However, she did this and she came back the next day and the urinary tract infection was gone. Like there was no sign of it, there was nothing left. And my mom, instead of thinking I made a mistake, she said, what did you do? And they became these great friends. And out of that, my family learned of homeopathy. And so we would go to her house. We called her Aunt Margie. We'd go to her house and she would talk about homeopathic medicines. And I was in elementary school and I loved it. I knew 3 remedies. Well, I knew arnica, hypericum, and ledum. So if you hurt yourself, if you smashed your fingers in the car doors or you got stung by something or stepped on a nail, I knew how to treat you. I also knew how to use calendula. And I would use them literally on all of my friends, to the point where one time when I had a friend who we were 10 and she got bit by a dog and she had this big gaping wound on her leg that was from this dog bite, and I cleaned it out. This is way before cell phones, right? So we called her mom and her mom was coming, but I cleaned it all out and I took calendula ointment and I like packed the wound with this, and I wrapped it up and then we watched a movie while her mom got off work and came and took her to the doctor. And the doctors were pretty horrified by the fact that her 10-year-old friend stuffed this injury with something. But I did it anyways. And the cool thing, I didn't know really. I mean, what I don't want to say I didn't know what I was doing. I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know the impact of what was going on because they were very panicked that it would get infected. They put a drain in it. It never drained. It never got infected. It healed well, without any drama or infection of anything that was there. So really, from a young age, I've loved homeopathy. And then I had decided I really wanted to study that and go for that. And so, um, so I always, if people needed arnica, ledum, or hypericum or calendula, I was like right there. And then it grew. I learned how to use rust hawks, and I learned how to use ignatia. And I just loved everything they could do. And I would sit and listen and go to study groups, and then decided it's kind of where I wanted to go, and what I wanted to study and what I wanted to do. So it's in me since I was little. I don't think I got a choice.
Yeah, and that's amazing how you were able to grow up with those safe natural medicines and using homeopathy with yourself and your friends, and learning to be familiar with that as part of the toolkit, and
Mhm.
then deciding at some point in time that this was really a huge dedication of your life's work, is to bring this healing to others.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was great. One of the things that I laugh about with my mom is I didn't know. I didn't know how serious things would be, because we always treated it with homeopathy and it always got better. So when it swelled the way that they would think, or somebody would have some dramatic injury that would take months and months to get better, and it got better so much faster, I just thought that's how it was. I had no idea that's not how most of things work, and most of medicine works. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about your training. Tell me what school you went to. So you were on your way to osteopathic medical school. You kind of switched gears, landed into going into naturopathic school. Tell me how that happened, and what you've done.
Well, it was one of those amazing moments in life where I was seeing an acupuncturist at the time for my health concerns, and I was telling him about what I was going to do, and I wanted to go to this school and learn all of these, then figure out how to do these natural treatments and things like that. And he just said, you need to go check out naturopathic medicine. They're doing exactly what you're talking about. And so a couple of months later, the truck was packed up and I was headed out to Portland, Oregon to move out there and attend National College of Naturopathic Medicine, which is now a National University of Natural Medicine in Portland, Oregon. And did my 4-year graduate degree there, and I stayed on for a year of teaching residency with the school in teaching clinics, and then moved down to Arizona and started private practice.
It's great. My story is so similar, of how I landed. I was going to go to CU School of Medicine and become a medical doctor so that I could learn, and then I could go and do homeopathy. And my passions were nutrition. And I decided growing up, nobody could answer any nutrition questions at all. So I was going to study nutrition. So I did that in my undergraduate degree while I was doing all of my pre-med stuff. And then I did all of the preparation to go to medical school, and I was accepted to go to CU School of Medicine. And when I was in my acceptance interview, I was telling the admissions counselor, oh, I love homeopathy. I'm here so I can be a doctor, so I can go study homeopathy, and I love nutrition. And she said to me, she said, by the time you graduate from here, you're going to think that homeopathy is placebo and nutrition doesn't really matter. And you have too much fire. I don't want to see that go from you. Like, I don't want to see that go away. And I thought, well, that was kind of weird. And then that night, I went to dinner with somebody who actually saw a naturopathic doctor, and I was explaining this, and she's like, oh my gosh, do you know about naturopathic medicine? And I had never heard of naturopathic medicine until that day. And so I went home and I started researching naturopathic medicine, and I'm right on the cusp of like when internet was really, really well. And so I actually got online, I had dial-up internet, and I started researching naturopathic schools. I thought, oh my gosh, this is the best thing. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So I withdrew my application from CU School of Medicine, and a couple months later, I was on in a truck on the way to Arizona to Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine, because the reason I chose there was because at the time I had grown up going to National Center for Homeopathy and doing things with NCH, and Stephen Metzer was on that board, and Paul Mittman was on the board of NCH, and they were teaching at Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine, which is now Sonoran University of Health Sciences. I got to change our names periodically. And then so I landed there because it was warm and sunny, and two people from National Center for Homeopathy that I knew were teaching down there. And literally I went on that road, and shortly before I started naturopathic school, I met Andre Sane, and he said, you're going to do this, 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 and this to study homeopathy and be a good doctor. And this is what you'll do. And it's what I've done. So almost the same.
Yeah, and I think that's a really common thread is because the conventional medical paradigm is really all around us. It's the only thing that we know. It's like a fish in water.
Yeah.
It's just the only way to do things. And so when you start to question that paradigm and step out of that paradigm, at this point in time, there's some similar experiences that occur, and you see people get well, and or you yourself get well, and all of a sudden you can't go back to seeing things the way that you did before.
Yeah.
And that's compelling enough to change the course of um, perhaps what plan A was.
Yeah. 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 No, I agree. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see the way that things like that collide and turn. So I know both of us are diplomats of the Homeopathic Academy of Naturopathic Physicians. And I would love for you to talk a little bit about what that is and what that means for us as naturopathic doctors.
So the Homeopathic Academy of Naturopathic Physicians is a specialty board group. And so we are board certified in the practice of homeopathic medicine as naturopathic physicians. And this organization, we serve to help to set standards of education, provide education for naturopathic doctors to achieve excellence in homeopathic medicine and helping their patients. And so a big part of what we do is education. We do advocacy, and then other things that help to connect us with the greater health community. And so with other homeopaths and professional homeopaths and licensed homeopaths, so that we're all able to work together and continue to bring this beautiful medicine to people in the United States and continue to inspire homeopaths across the world.
That's cool. That's cool. So, and it's this great credentialing that not many people have. This great status of training as a diplomat of a diplomat training, right? That you have as well. Mhm.
Yes, and so the diplomat training is hundreds of hours of education, hundreds of patient contacts, and mentorship, as well as then achieving that credential, really showing that we have this level of expertise within this area that we're able to help guide other physicians as well in that process.
Yeah, yeah. There's I think 35 people who have their diplomat status in homeopathy within naturopathic medicine in all of North America, which puts the training that goes with that and the recognition that the board has with that. Really just that it's an honor for you to have that. It's an honor for myself to have that. It's a great honor within our profession of that expertise that's there. Plus, the Naturopathic Association, the Homeopathic Academy of Naturopathic Physicians, does so much great work for our community. And you're a big part of that. And so tell me what your role is in that and how what you're doing for the homeopathic community at large and to support our community. We do great work. You do great work with our patients, with your patients, and such passion for this. But medicine and homeopathy is more than just our patients. It's about homeopathy as a whole and the profession as a whole. And I know you got quite a lot going on, so share what you're up to.
Yes, at this point in time, I'm president of HANP, and this was a really important role to be involved with HANP in general because I wanted to be able to help my patients, but at a certain point in time as well, beyond that one-on-one interaction, stepping back and really wanting to make sure that there's community building and being able to influence things beyond myself. And so that connection to a larger vision as a whole and being involved with HANP really allows me to bring that to life and to bring some of my creativity, to bring some of my heart-centered and passionate um, leadership to continue to foster the growth and communication and within our communities. And so we continue to provide education. We're holding conferences for continued education that brings other professionals together to be able to learn and connect. And we also continue to be able to advocate as well for people to be able to find homeopaths and to find homeopathic medicines that are of high quality so that they can bring these safe, effective tools to their families. And this is something as well that you're quite passionate about, and you've been involved with HANP for many years. Tell
Yeah.
us a bit about your involvement.
About my involvement. Well, I mean, I've loved homeopathy, as I said earlier, my whole entire life, and I really do feel like I've devoted everything to it. And sometimes my family would say even above them, but that's actually not true. I do love them more. But homeopathy is right up there. It's such a passion. And in years later, I've been very, very active. So I'm a past president of the Homeopathic Academy of Naturopathic Physicians. Really, we brought it back from an organization that wasn't so strong to reestablishing its expertise and its credentials and leadership within the homeopathic community. But within that, there's so much within the field of homeopathy that I do as well. I also sit on the board for the American Institute of Homeopathy, which is the oldest medical organization in the United States. And so I've been with them for a long time and in leadership there. I also serve on an international group known as the LMHI, the Liga Medicorium Homeopathica Internationalis, which I call Liga or maybe LMHI, which is a international group of physicians that get together, and there's somebody from every country who represents their country, and we get together once a year to work and know what we're doing in the world for homeopathy, and how can we be involved in kind of some of the world politics and support each other. And I'm the current representative of the United States for that. So I get to travel abroad every year for that. I've served on organizations with the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of the United States. I've served on a National Homeopathic Product Certification Board. And so really anything that I can do to pour into the profession is something that I do in my side time when I'm not with patients, all for this love of this medicine to make it go stronger.
Yeah, and to really bring education, clinical excellence, leadership, and community building all of these things together. This is a really important part of why it is you do what you do. It's beyond just yourself, but there's a real service and selflessness that's to this as well.
Yeah, and that's for you too. And, as I circle this around of our little talk here today, I mean, it benefits everything. It benefits homeopathy. It makes us, you and I, better at the job that we do for our patients. We've got so much, not just education and training and expertise status. And yes, we have all of the titles and bells and whistles that go with that. But the passion of serving both the homeopathic community and our patients is something that I see that you and I bring to our patients over and over and over. And I love to witness it. I love to see people get better. I love to hear your stories. I hope you love my little stories. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had this cool thing, right? That we get to see that it's making healthcare better, because with homeopathy, there's so much greatness that can be done over and over and over again. So thank you for all the work that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is all we have for today. I just wanted to take some time. I thought it would be super great to see some fun facts and get a little bit of glimpse into it more about Dr. Knapp and myself. Again, my name is Dr. Lisa Amerine. We're with Pure Homeopathy. And if you need anything or have questions, let us know. Have a great day.